take a break when we get to the portion that he would be interested in being a part of, we can do that at that time. So are we ready to start, Jen?
Yes, we are.
Okay. I'd like to call the Thursday, April 2nd regular meeting of the Police and Fire Commission to order. Regular is a relative term as we're attempting to do this via Zoom, so I appreciate everyone's efforts to deal with this. I will ask the participants, or just remind them on the instructions that when you do speak, if you would state your name before speaking so that anyone listening to this outside will know who's speaking at the time. When we do votes, all the votes will be, any votes will be a roll call vote, and we'll go from that. So first roll call, Vice President Schaaf.
Here.
Commissioner Wanaszak.
Warren Wanaszak here.
Commissioner Kopke.
Here.
And again, Commissioner Boyle-Roloff.
Here.
And I'm President Goldhahn, so all the commissioners are here. First, we'll need a approval of the agenda. You should have received the agenda both emailed to you and in hard copy and had a chance to look at it. Is there a motion to approve?
Nancy Schaaf, so moved.
Moved by Commissioner Schaaf, seconded by Commissioner Wanaszak. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Okay. For simple things like this, I'll only make a roll call on more detailed motions. As long as we have unanimous consent here on the phone, I don't think it's necessary to go through roll call vote. Next, we'll need approval of the minutes. You received 2 sets of minutes in your package, one from the meeting on March 2nd, and then the special meeting on March 24th. Is there a motion to approve those minutes?
Wanaszak, so moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wanaszak. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Roloff. Any further discussion or questions on those? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, we have a unanimous approval of the minutes. Informational items. I have nothing major to report other than thanking everyone for doing what you can during these trying times, especially the police and fire departments and all the unique things you have to do in order to keep your members safe as well as the public safe. This is part of that. So we'll go into the report from the chiefs. Chief Smith.
Sure. Thanks, sir. Very quiet out there. Most people are compliant. You saw in the paper this morning that we had about 55 different complaints of people that weren't following the governor's orders. We've been able to handle most of those with just warnings or letting people know what the rules are, and most people are very good about complying with that. Our crime continues to be very quiet. Our calls for service are down 20% this week, as you saw. I think I put that in my weekly update. We did have a homicide this week over on 12th Street. Was a body on the side of the road that someone reported. Our detectives are working continually on that and on the other 2 homicides. So we've had a total of 3 in a month, which is highly unusual for Green Bay. All of them completely unrelated and all of them in different locations. None of them are connected to each other. Detectives are following up on really good leads. So I'm hoping for some kind of resolution on those, hopefully quickly. As far as our response to the coronavirus, we're looking at the possibility of moving to 12-hour shifts. That'll give us some time so that we can keep all our officers separated. Our research shows that most coronavirus infections are caused in the workplace by coworkers, not by people in the field. So we're trying to keep people out of the station as much as possible. In fact, almost all of our civilians are working from home right now. Of course, the detectives and the police officers have to be here, but we're doing everything we can to keep people working from home. And we're going to hopefully expand that by going to 12-hour shifts with our officers so that we'll have more separation from people and have more time off. And we'll be able to hopefully keep our officers from getting sick and able to go out there and do the work that they're supposed to do. So That would conclude my report unless you have any questions.
Thank you.
Any questions for the chief? All right, has Chief Litton joined us yet?
We are just working on getting him the call-in information, then he'll be
Okay,
joining us.
then we'll hold for a minute.
I think it may be a few minutes.
Okay, Jen, any problem with me bypassing the next two agenda to the part F and then backtracking?
Sure, I think that would be fine.
Okay. If we move on to item F, which is our regular business, consideration with possible action on the following communications, the budget status report and as you saw in your packet, there was no spending in either department during the past month. So I will entertain a motion to receive those empty reports, place them on file.
Wanazek, so moved.
Stop.
Moved by Commissioner Wanazek, seconded by Commissioner Schaaf. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Clear, unanimously passed. Next item is consideration with possible action on a request to approve the monthly bills. There were no bills received during this month, so that agenda item will be unnecessary. I will wait a few minutes for Chief Litton to join us.
We do have Chief Litton here now.
Great. Welcome, Chief.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chief.
We are at the portion where we're ready for your report, Chief, and then to talk about the Fox Valley Tech hiring process.
Fair enough. Don't have a ton to report other than we're very busy with the Emergency Operations Center. We've had various people out there on and off for the last 3 weeks. Assistant Chief Goplin and Gibbons both initially were there for the first 2 weeks, really getting the county in order as far as procedures and directions on what they needed to be doing. So they spent a lot of time out there, and even currently today, they're alternating positions out there. And we had some of our battalion chiefs going out there. We've got some other staff members that have been assisting in communications and in logistics and in the central warehouse. So we've been intimately involved with what's going on out there. Just once again, the county health department has lead on our response to this pandemic. We do not have our own city health department, so therefore it falls to the county, and we fall underneath them. So we've been providing them support. And a couple of good notes: we have been able to secure and acquire a lot more personal protective equipment for our fire EMS people, and also for the police department. And we continue to make purchases of that when we find available supplies. So we're in a much better position today than we were 2 weeks ago, and definitely better even as much longer than we were a week ago itself. So we currently have three of our personnel in quarantine. 2 of them have received tests for COVID. One was directly was one of the responders on the very first patient that we transported who ended up tested positive. We won't have those results back for 4 or 5 days, but they are quarantined at home on COVID leave right now. So hopefully that'll come back negative, but we are testing them just to make sure. So that all of you are aware, since this all began, we have transported 45 patients that had all of the symptoms of the virus. And right now, I only know of 2 that ended up being tested positive. So, while our people, we've got protocols set in place at the dispatch center so that our folks are being notified. But at this point, every single medical call, our personnel are wearing full personal protective gear. And if it's a known case, it's full gear. So that would mean goggles, a respirator, an N95 mask, a face shield or goggles, a gown, and gloves. So we put all that in place. We are currently every single morning completely disinfecting the ambulances. We've hired a company to come in and and spray down the ambulances with a solution that's not harmful, but that kills the coronavirus. We're doing that first for the protection of our people that are inside these ambulances all day long, and secondly, to protect the public that are being transported as another way of protecting the public so that we don't community spread the virus. That has a price tag of about $8,000 a month, so we're not quite a month into it, but regardless of the cost, it's something that we're going to continue to do in order to protect our people and stop the spread. We have the ability to do that for police department squads. If they have anybody that has the symptoms and or comes back testing positive, we can do their squads for them, and we will do fire apparatus as well. And finally, in the event that we have known cases or if we have an exposure of any of our personnel that goes back to a fire station, we have a contract in place again to completely disinfect and sanitize a complete fire station. We have not had to do that yet, but it is in place in case that we need to. But really, just we did have the special meeting last week to approve the battalion chief lists. We have those two individuals. We may be putting them up earlier than I was thinking before, just depending on how long this goes and what. We haven't made a decision on that, but as this virus, as it ramps up and we start to get into the surge, there may be need for them to fill in both in the emergency operations center and potentially in the ranks of battalion chiefs. So I may be requesting that they be brought up early, but we're not at that point yet. So that'll conclude my report. Rod, if you can hear me, I know that you're talking, but I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. I had my microphone muted. I'm sorry. I asked if anyone had any further questions for the chief.
No, thank you.
Chief,
Thank you.
Just curious if that expenditure you were talking about, is that something, see, it's outside of the budget? Is it something we have to do anything on at this point, or is that a future matter?
It's definitely outside of the budget. It'll be something that we'll address down the road. I am confident that we'll be reimbursed 75% of that amount through the FEMA portal and the directions that they have there. So we are tracking. That's one thing I should have mentioned, that we are tracking any and all equipment, all supplies, which would include personal protective equipment for all of our personnel, and all of our time is being tracked through our scheduling software, and then we're keeping the spreadsheets on all of our expenses, so that when the time comes to submit that to the federal government for reimbursement, we'll have it all in one place. We've provided that guidance to all the other city departments as well. So every department is doing that. And in the end, when we get to the point where we can submit, we would get 75% back of the expenses.
Great, thanks, Chief.
Hey, thank you. Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Chief, for the report and for everything both departments are doing through this trying time. Next agenda item is the 2020 Fox Valley Tech Regional Firefighter hiring process. There was a page in your information packet that described the process, similar to ones we've used in the past. Chief, one question: given the current situation, is the timeline looking to change, or is Fox Valley making any changes in what they're doing as part of that process in the light of the COVID-19 issue?
Not currently. The process usually, the applications open up generally end of May, first part of June. And then they don't start doing the physical aptitude tests until July, August in that time frame. So that, it may get pushed back. At this point, we don't have any further direction on that. It's really going to be dependent upon when we get past this, and if the safer at home is lifted and so forth. So it's possible it'll get pushed back, but there is no plan at this point. Okay.
And then just for the group, this is our normal process, so no vote is required to approve anything. We're just doing what has already been approved a few years back for the first time.
Rod, I wonder if we should have a motion to receive and place on file?
That's a good suggestion. I will entertain a motion to receive that processed report and place on file.
Shaw, so moved.
So moved.
I got two motions. Moved by Commissioner Schaaf, seconded by Commissioner Kopke. Is that accurate?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor to receive the report and place on file, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Okay, unanimous consent of that. Then, Chief Litton, we covered the other items before you arrived on the call. So at this point, we're at the point of the agenda where we're getting ready to go into closed session to do the patrol officer interviews. So I'm sure you have plenty to do to keep you busy. So if you'd like to exit the call, we thank you for your time and for everything you're doing for the community.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day. Stay healthy.
Thank you, Chief.
Bye.
Thank you, Chief.
You bet.
So we were at agenda item 4 and 5. These are both closed session items, so we will do one closed session vote
Rod, I-
for each
I think
item.
we
I
just
will
missed-
read the closed session notice for each. We'll do one vote, and then when we come and do the report, I will give two separate reports.
Rod,
So
I
the
think
fir-
we missed number 3.
Yes, Jen?
I think we missed number 3.
No, we talked about that. Since there were no bills, there's nothing to deal with. Oh, 3. Okay, I'm sorry.
Maybe my numbering is off. But
Oh,
we had
yeah,
some-
the print was so small, I didn't notice that. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
That's okay.
Consideration with possible action on the voluntary removal of patrol officer candidates from the eligibility list. Oh, I had that on my list to do in closed session, but we can do that now.
Okay.
We had three candidates that have asked to be removed from consideration, and those 3 were in your information packet. So is there a motion to remove those from consideration?
Monazek, so moved.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Wanazek, seconded by Commissioner Roloff. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of removing those 3 candidates signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, we had unanimous, all those opposed, no? Okay, we have unanimous agreement to accept those removal of those 3 candidates. And sorry, Jen, these old eyes didn't recognize the small print.
That's okay.
Okay, now we'll go into items 4 and 5. Items review patrol officer candidate backgrounds. The commission may convene in closed session pursuant to sections 19.85, paragraph 1, sub C and F to consider employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governmental body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility. The commission may thereafter reconvene in open session pursuant to section 19.85, paragraph 2, Wisconsin statutes to report the results of the closed session and consider the balance of the agenda. And item 5 is interviews with patrol officer candidates. Please take note that pursuant to Section 5, paragraph 1, sub C and F, Wisconsin statutes, the commission may convene in closed session for the purpose of interviewing, evaluating, and considering employment of patrol officer candidates. Is there a motion to go into closed session?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Roloff. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Schaaf. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? There is unanimous consent to go into closed session. So at this point, we are in closed session.
Okay, this will just take over then. Okay, can everyone hear me? Hi, this is Jen.
Can't hear you.
Hi, Jen.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
I can't hear.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Very faint.
Can you hear me, Warren?
Yeah, loud and clear.
Okay. Then why don't we go ahead? We're back in open session, correct, Jen?
Yes, we are.
Okay. While in closed session, we identified 5 candidates who self-withdrew from the process. We reviewed another 7 candidates' background. 5 of those we chose to discontinue in the process. We interviewed 2 candidates and chose to continue both of those candidates in the hiring process. And it was unanimous consent of the commissioners to do that. With that, the next agenda item is to set the date of the next meeting. Our ordinary time would make that May 7th. So why don't, I'll ask the commissioners to hold that time as our regular meeting at 3 p.m. on the 7th. And if things change and we're asked to meet earlier, or if we have no reason to meet, we'll make folks aware of that. Is everybody okay with that date?
Yes, I am.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. Oh, I should add too, for the record, that Commissioner Boyle Roloff had to leave while we're in closed session due to an emergency situation at her church. The next item is public hearings. We have no public hearings scheduled, so we move on to an adjournment. So is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Wanazak. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Schaaf. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We have unanimous consent to adjourn. We are adjourned. So Jen, let us know when the